What is up, XO? Now, it's been a pretty long 2024 for us as XO fans. We did get music, however, a lot of the music was featured songs, especially after April said he was no longer doing features. But that's a whole nother point. But last night, let's talk about last night. He did a Sao Paulo show, and it was amazing. And that is what we're going to talk about, along with some predictions for his next album. Keep watching. Now, last night, the Weeknd performed in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Um, the performance was an hour and a half, 28 songs. All songs were either from Dawn FM, After Hours, or Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is his new album. Um, the show was amazing. The first thing I want to get into is the aesthetics. From the moment that he announced his album title name, when you saw the long kind of like poem that he was giving out before the Hurry Up Tomorrow title came, when I saw what it looked like to me was a horror movie. It looked creepy. It was creepy. I don't know. You can't break down creepy. It's just creepy. But I enjoyed it. It's a made an album title. I know a lot of people are probably like, I don't know about this. It's whatever. To me, it sounds like a dang horror movie, which was amazing. That aesthetic though. Now to get to the show, he comes up wearing some kind of cloak. It might be an Ethiopian style cloak, almost coming up like a cult leader. It was very creepy. The background, it was like an orange, a dark orange, sunlightish kind of setting. Uh, there was no cityscape like After Hours Till Dawn tour, but rather just a weird, like, some of it's fiery, some of it's him banging on the back of the glass on the screen. Some of it's him drowning in the water. Some of these snippets or these visuals we've seen in the snippets that he released within the past month or two. But the aesthetics was amazing. It was very creepy, very amazing. It was very creepy. Even the soundscape of some of the songs that I know sounds a tad bit different than it did on his albums. At least the songs that we know of that were released on his last two albums sound a little bit different. Um, it almost has this, like, I don't know how you describe it. I just said like a Christopher Nolan, Batman kind of like orchestra kind of like sound where it's just creepy. Um, the aesthetics were amazing though. He still had the ladies from the After Hours Till Dawn tour that wore the red cloaks and dancing around. He still had them, which was amazing to see. The stage looked a little bit different too. It was a long stage to, I guess, accommodate the entire audience. He kind of came back and forth on the stage. It was amazing. That's all I can say about that. He didn't have the big moon thing. He didn't have the space cadet looking figurine. It was a stage that was kind of a straight line. In the middle, there was a kind of tower. And then it went kind of straight back this pathway to a big stage that's in the background and has a big screen. And there are steps that you can also go up to. In which at some point he had like the French arc, which I thought was interesting, or it looked like that. Either that or like Roman. It looked pretty interesting. Um, Now let's get to the performance. He did have two individuals that came out. One was Playboy Cardi. I'm not a fan. I'm not really a fan of Playboy Cardi. But he was alright, I guess. And then he had a Brazilian singer named Anita. I like that performance. The dancing, the singing. That song sounded very different than every other song. That was probably the anomaly in his aesthetics that he had, but it was an amazing song. If that's on the album, I don't know if that's her song, but I can vibe with that song. I can vibe. But yeah, and then also with the performance, he did at a few points kind of mess up his lines or fall kind of out of the pocket of the song. Um, it's a live performance. Mistakes happen during live performances. I thought he did an incredible job, even though he did, like I said, couple times. I mean, this is his first performance in probably a year, um, and he improvised very well. He went to the crowd, and, tried to get the crowd to sing. You know, he, he was very much catering to the crowd out there. Who's probably for the first time or one of the first times seeing him. A lot of them probably the first time ever seeing him live. So I thought the performance was real good as well. Very impressive. The songs he previewed, he did 28 songs. I think about like 6 or 7 of them, maybe 8. I don't know right off the head. I think about 8 of them were new songs from his new album, or what we presume is going to be from his new album. He performed some of our favorites, like "Take Me Back to LA," which was previewed like 4 years ago. "Hold Your Heart," which was a previewed song a few years ago as well. Along with some new ones like "Dancing in the Fire," "Wake Me Up." I think that was a snippet. "Fade to Black," "Let's End It All." He performed a lot of those songs. If you don't know what these are, you need to look them up and try to listen to them or watch the performance again. Um, I thought those were some amazing songs. I think the song called "Dancing in the Flames" or "Dancing with the Flames," I don't know the title yet, something like that. I think that's probably going to be the biggest hit on the album. If it makes the album, which I presume it will, I think that's going to be the biggest hit. His song called "Wake Me Up." It's literally Michael Jackson Thriller 2.0. That's going to be another massive hit. It's a man. I'm gonna save that for the end. But so he performed a lot of great songs, and as I mentioned, kind of in the beginning, he did perform songs from strictly the new trilogy, which is After Hours, Dawn FM, and then Hurry Up Tomorrow. Um, Even with that, he did put on an hour and a half performance. I think he did great going through the entire thing. Uh, so I think he did real good with that. To end the show, I thought this was fascinating. Obviously, he played "Blinding Lights." You knew that had to been, you knew that had to be the ender because that's his biggest song ever, and it's from that era, the biggest song from that era too. But he actually ended it with his prelude to "Hurry Up Tomorrow," and he's on his knees and he's kind of giving you that face that he gives on his new album cover, singing "Hurry Up Tomorrow." Hurry up tomorrow. And he starts going and he's walking and he's making his way up those stairs singing "Hurry Up Tomorrow," and he falls to his knees. And you see a picture of a man like on a cross or crucified but in flames. It's amazing. As he walks out saying "Hurry Up Tomorrow." And then in the sky you can see the lights shining and shining, and they end up saying "Hurry Up Tomorrow" as well. That was impressive. A lot of showmanship right there. To me, one of the best performers of this era or this generation. Probably the best performer. Fight me. Now, let's move on to the implications of this. Let's move on to some predictions for this album. Now, if you go on the EXO store, he did make "Hurry Up Tomorrow" available for sale, pre-sale. Um, he did make it available for that. Me thinking, put two and two together. The shipping date should tell you when the album's going to be released. So I bought the album. I still bought it. However, the shipping date was not released on there, of course. They knew our games. However, it did say that it was going to be released in less than 6 months. no later than, if it's September right now, no later than March of next year. No later than March 7th of next year, 2025. Um, I did buy some merch. He had a lot of Sao Paulo merchandise on there. Merchandise did get a little more expensive than usual, but gotta make his money, I guess, the economy, right? Um, the album cover, I think the album covers, it's his face. I mean, if you when you think about it, his last like 6 albums had kind of the same album cover, just different, his face in different positions. And with this project, him saying it's gonna be his last one as the Weeknd. This is him ridding himself of the Weeknd character and going to who he actually is, which is Abel. So no problems with the album cover. It looks like him. Actually, it looks like Tedros, but we don't talk about the idol. In terms of songs previewed, I thought they were amazing. I think, based on the songs that I heard, there's a high probability that this might actually be the best song of the new trilogy, or this might be the best album, which is a high praise. And After Hours, Dawn FM are great albums, but this one seeming like it might be the one, the other one. It might be better than the other two. Based on these songs I'm hearing, I'm like, man, Dancing with the Flames. Mark my words, that one is gonna be the massive hit. Probably not right out the gate, but it's gonna be like that Save Your Tears. It becomes a hit like a year after the album comes out. But also with that, my prediction of release date. So it's gonna be less than 6 months. Um, a lot of people will probably be gambling on October, maybe November, maybe a December. Um, I'm gonna stand by mine. I think it's gonna be February 14th. You know, the Friday before his birthday or his birthday weekend. I'm gonna say February 14th. I think we're probably gonna get 2 singles that drop within that span of time, maybe three. Though it does feel like it's heating up. It feels like he's heating up right now. I feel like he's gonna release 2 or 3 singles first. I think one of them's gonna be the Dancing with the Flames. I think one's gonna probably be Wake Me Up. I think those are gonna be his 2 singles that he drops. I think he's gonna do music videos for both of those singles. I think he's gonna push those very hard for the next few months before announcing his release date, which will be, I think it's gonna be in February personally. The reason why is because he has an After Hours Till Dawn show in Australia. I think 2 of them or something like that in Australia in October. And I can't see him releasing an album between now and then with that name, and still with him still having to do that After Hours Till Dawn show. Because he'd be like, why not just cancel that show and hit him back up for the next big tour? I think it kind of makes not that much sense. You know, it's kind of like what he did with After Hours. He canceled the entire After Hours tour and just repackaged it as a 2 album tour, After Hours Till Dawn. So I don't think that he's gonna go backwards just to. I just can't see it. Maybe he will though, but I can't see him releasing an entirely new album, then doing those 2 or 3 shows in Australia, just to go back home for the next summer and then do the same exact show again. I just can't see it. So I think it's going to be February, and I think he'll probably start touring in like June of next year or something like that, May or June. Uh, those are my predictions. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what are your thoughts, your predictions on this new